following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to our review show here of TNA Wrestling's return for TNA Hard to Kill from January 13th, 2024 at the Palms Casino Resort, Paradise, Nevada. I'm Karlifornia. This is Jooseyboy. Jooseyboy, welcome back to the TNA reviews.
Dude, it is good to be back, and I tell you what, I am excited to see TNA Wrestling back in action. Not Impact, not bloody whatever, not Global Force. TNA Wrestling is back. And I personally have to say that I think this was quite the show to resurrect the brand and bring it back on the right note.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have you back on these reviews here, bro. It would be good for us to be back on our own freaking YouTube channel, which hopefully will be happening soon. So this is already late as it is, but we don't even know when it's going to be able to go up. We'll put it on the Patreon, okay, Jooseyboy, because at least then someone might be able to fucking see it. Okay, right, here we go, bro. So, did you watch the countdown show? Oh man, you missed out big time, bro. You missed out big time. Okay, I'm gonna get through it hell quick, bro. First match was Rich Swann versus Steve Macklin. Very confused with Steve Macklin's trajectory over the last year or so. He was Impact World Champion. Then he lost it a few months later. Then he was feuding with Bully Ray, and that seems to have just disappeared. They didn't have a blow-off match or anything, but maybe I'm just, count my eggs before they've hatched. Is that even a saying? I don't know, but anyway, look, I'm surprised at what's happened with him because it seems like he's been a bit lost in the shuffle, but he did win this first matchup. It was a very good matchup, I'd say, in 10 minutes 22, and Rich Swann did a good job in not annoying me with the clapping of the leg. Damn, you also missed out, bro, on AJ Francis making his TNA debut here.
I did see that. I saw
did
that.
You? Oh,
yeah.
What did you think of it?
Honestly, I was like pleasantly surprised and impressed by it. I was like, why didn't they just let him do that in WWE? Like, that was my immediate thought. Instead of, they have to have him try and do the flip over the top rope and do all this other shit and be over the top animated. They should have just let him go out there from the beginning and just keep it simple and just be a thug. And that's basically what he did. And I liked the little promo that he cut in this segment. And I think that's exactly the kind of character development and evolution that you need to see from a former wrestler that you might be familiar with from another promotion, especially if they've left that previous promotion in a bad light. It's good to kind of bring them back with a bit of impact and kind of a bit of rawness to them. And I think they did that successfully here with the former Top Dollar.
Yeah, and by the way, you said a bit of impact. It's actually TNA now, bro. Just
no, I meant it as
I
in
know.
the actual.
I know. Look, Joe Hendry interrupted him playing his new music video, which was fun, because Joe always has his little songs, and with a music video accompanying it. I don't know if you saw the music video, but they essentially had like a crash test dummy with Top Dollar's face on it, colliding with the top rope and flopping over the top.
Oh no.
Unbelievable, bro. I like cracked up laughing so much. But you know what I liked? Joe Hendry had his back turned. DJ, what's it, Woo Kid? Smacked him in the back with a laptop. I hope there wasn't anything important on that laptop. And then, bro, heel heat out of the gate. Okay, like immediately, I've taken him seriously for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Like, how hard was that? It didn't take long. Good stuff.
That's simple booking.
Yep, simple.
Nothing complicated.
Effective. Speaking of simple, next one, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards with Alicia Edwards at ringside, taking on Frankie Kazarian and Eric Young. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards are now known as the System. So they're Moose's heavies now. So look, not much to say here. 8 minutes, 6 seconds. They won, as I should expect. And you know what? Hopefully they get a bit more involved in the tag division, because I'm going to say something about the tag division later, which makes me feel like the tag division is the X division tag division. We need some big boys in there. Anyway, let's get to the main event of the countdown, Jooseyboy. I'm surprised. Did you really not watch this one? The Digital Media Championship match between Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve in I guess it's a street fight.
No.
Oh, no, mate. This is pretty good. Brutal. So this feud's been brewing for some time. It was good to have this on the show. A different flavor, palate cleanser, if you will. Some crazy stuff here, no pun intended. Steve taped Tommy's hands together in the corner, then emptied a whole bag of like forks, like silver forks, into Tommy's shirt and on top of Tommy, and then hit a cannonball on him, and then hit a DDT off the second rope, and won the Digital Media title, the championship that means more than anything in this business. 11 minutes, 9 seconds. Right.
Well, it definitely means more than the FTW title. We can at least say that.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what? And it also means more than the AEW Triple Crown title.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. Oh, actually, and you know what else? It probably also means more than the AEW Trio as well, title as well. Okay, no, sorry, I'm done. All right, let's go.
Bro, my ball butter means more than that Triple Crown, okay? Right, okay. Let's get on with the show. I really liked the beginning here. Eric Young coming out on the mic, spitting some fire on them being slept on for the last damn time. We are TNA Wrestling. We are hard to kill. They united that sold out building. What did you think of all that shit?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that it set the tone perfectly. I mean, like, honestly, TNA has always been like the classic TNA was always, you know, pretty good with their production. I always thought they did a good job of like presenting their events as if they were major league, even if they weren't always in the bigger buildings, and especially if they were in the impact zone.
Yeah.
But here they were actually in a decent sized building, and like the show looked major league. And yeah, I thought they knocked it out of the park. I think people want the TNA brand back because it's something that's familiar, and it's now, I think, going to make it even more interesting with AEW and WWE. Now you're going to have TNA as well, which has its own 20-something year history that it can draw on. So I think, yeah, I think this definitely put that scent across that TNA was here to kind of do some business and be a meaningful presence within the industry. And yeah, like I was pumped up, you know.
Good, because I was pumped
the way
up
they
too.
started it off.
You know, because you know what I want? Because enough of this AEW, WWE are way too far ahead. AEW will never catch up to them, ever. I don't care what anyone says. It's got to be now more about TNA and AEW. Is TNA going to become the number 2 and AEW slip down because they're run by a clown? And that's what I want. And I think TNA's run by the perfect person. I think Scott D'Amore knows what he's doing, bro. Okay. Let's get to the first matchup on the pay-per-view here. Knockouts World Title number 1 contendership. Ultimate X. Alicia Edwards, Giselle Shaw, Zia Brookside, Danny Luna, Tasha Steeles, Jody Threat. Jooseyboy, I want you to take it away for me right here, right now.
Yeah, well, you know, I didn't look at it in as much detail as I probably should have, but I did take a look at it, and actually I was very impressed by like the spots that were performed. They didn't try to recreate anything that we've seen in previous Ultimate X matches. They kept it within their wheelhouse of stuff that they were all good at, and then they kind of tried to add the Ultimate X apparatus into it, which I think worked well. And I'm going to go ahead and give the match a B minus because I
Wow.
think that it honestly, it's a tremendous load of pressure to be in the opening match of a show like this. Um, and you're opening it up with, one of the most beloved match types in the promotion's history. So, it deserves a high rating because I think they kicked the show off on the right note.
Absolutely, a tremendous note. Actually, that's tremendous. Number one has been counted on this review here, Jooseyboy.
Yeah,
So look, I thought
we'll
that the
see.
girls here, the girls, how like condescending was that? I thought the ladies went all out here. Okay, it was insane from the outset, and that's the thing about TNA. They have a lot of match concepts that no other company can or will do. You know, they have this Ultimate X thing. No one else does. No one else should try because this is their thing. And I think all the ladies that were in this match, they all had their one spot to do something nuts. I loved who was it? Alicia Edwards was piggybacking Dirty Threat as she was climbing the truss. And as they got high enough, Alicia just fell off and landed onto a pile of women. Very entertaining. I loved them all taking one another out, one after another as we headed toward the finish. Jody Threat, very impressive with the double F5, which calls the pop shove it to Zaya and Alicia. Thought Zaya did good in her TNA debut here. I wanted Giselle Shaw to win. She did win. And it's got to get to a point where Giselle Shaw wins the title at some point because she's had so many opportunities within the last year and a half or so. Now the hard work's paying off. I've seen how much improvement has been there. I've seen how aggressive Giselle is in comparison to when I first saw Giselle perform. She's going to be the Knockouts champion in 2024, as far as I'm concerned, bro. So very good stuff. Let's move forward. AJ Francis was losing his shizit with his DJ, and he's happy with what he did on the countdown show. Nice little touch. Nice touch.
Yep, that was good. That was good.
That's what we need. Coming up next, singles match, PCO, Dirty Dango with Alpha Bravo, Oleg Prudius. Okay, the first thing only lasted a minute and a half. PCO immediately, okay, I love the entrance. He's on the medical gurney under the sheet. He's shot back to life. This psychopath.
Yeah.
This Canadian Frankenstein. It's very cool. He's the Undertaker of TNA. They need to keep that guy there. He's a presence, and I don't know how he does the things he does, bro, because he's like over 50 now and he's still taking these bumps, which is just insane. But there's a DQ. And then out comes Rhino. And then here comes Santino to make it a 6-man tag. So Alpha Bravo, Dango, Oleg. It's crazy to see Vladimir out there again. Jake something, PCO, and Rhino. So I don't have much to say. It was what it was. I think this was kind of just to get PCO out there, get Rhino out there, and feature them. PCO Salt, and it was over. And I'm liking Dirty Dango as well. He seems like he's a real slime ball. Like he let Bravo take the gore. Like what a coward. But yeah, 7 minutes 27 seconds. It was just a bit of fun. What did you think, bro?
Look, I saw that this was one of the lower rated matches from the show, and I heard a couple of comments of people that weren't really into it. I gotta be honest, man, I dug it. And the reason that I dug it is because you don't want to have a big card, no matter what show it is, where it's just an overload, big match after big match after big match. I thought, okay, here's our little bit of fun on the show. We've got a little bit of booking. We've got a little bit of shenanigans going on here. The planned singles match, it never really got out of the gate. It's been called off. Now they're bringing in the guys on the outside, and they're bringing in Jake something. The crowd enjoyed seeing Santino Marella. I think that he plays that role well. I still think Jake something needs to actually make his last name something else,
Agreed.
because Jake something is just, it's too indie, and it's too, more than that, it's too like late 2000s. Everyone on the indies is trying to be quirky and in on the joke. Like that's the kind of name, that's what that gives off to me. Um, the match itself, obviously, it's, I'm gonna probably grade it a C plus. Having said that, though, it was very fun. I really enjoyed seeing Rhino. I thought PCO was a star of the match. I think Fandango is a lot more comfortable uh, at this point in his career than he perhaps was in WWE. If you look back in WWE, a lot of what he did was this kind of thing, like just being in these kind of matches and, getting bumped around. And obviously, at that point in his career, he's not really going to be satisfied with that. But it seems like by this point, he just feels like, he's just doing his thing and he's not too worried about trying to main event WrestleMania.
Mm.
So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I think that it was just a little showcase, especially for Jake something and PCO, who they made a point of mentioning that he'd signed a lucrative contract with TNA. So they're obviously planning on building around PCO to some degree for the foreseeable future.
Very good. Yes. Look, Jake really needs to change. Every time I see him come out, I'm like, God, he could be a big name in this sport if he just have a better ring name. Don't know about it. Anyway, moving forward, we see somebody show up earlier. We can't tell who it is. All we can see is the back of their head, and it's like blonde hair. We'll get to it later. TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Title Match. MK Ultra, Killer Kelly, Masha Slamovich taking on Decay, Havoc, and Rosemary. They're back to their old gimmick here. What did you think of the World Tag Title match here, man?
I like the fact that TNA actually gives a shit about its women's tag team division. And when I say gives a shit, it's not to say that you don't see women's tag team matches in AEW, and you see them sometimes in WWE, although it's, they don't do enough with the women over there in WWE, especially when it comes to the tag teams. So I really like how TNA and Impact before the rebranding, they really go out of their way to put a focus on their knockouts division. But the difference is, rather than trying to sort of go, everything's equal in TNA, we have, a women's version of everything that we do for the men. It feels like the women in TNA have their own entirely distinct world going on that's, separate from all the stuff going on with the men. It's not just like a female copy of whatever the men are doing, as it is in WWE, where the women sort of follow the template. Like there's a Rumble winner, and then that person goes on to Mania, and then someone wins at the Chamber, and that person's gonna take on the other champion, etc. It's different in TNA. The women's championship scene might end up totally different from the men's, and I think that it's compelling, just the fact that they actually have enough viable teams in the company to make a match like this interesting. I didn't pay enough attention to it because, I was just pretty much baked and,
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough.
But yeah,
they
I
do
thought it
care
was
about
pretty
the women.
decent. Yeah,
They care. Look, 3 matches in the show had ladies in it. Just because there was an Ultimate X, they didn't have to have a men's Ultimate X match. No, they can do things on their own. It's good. What I was not happy about here, though, right, was MK Ultra dropping the belts. I don't know if maybe Masha or Killer Kelly might be leaving. I don't know. Maybe they're dropping the belts here. One of them's like, you never know with these things. I thought they were on such a hot run. And I thought that they really mixed well together. I thought that they should have held these belts for like at least a year or something like that. That's what I was hoping for. Felt a little bit out of blue for me to have them drop the belts back to Decay, who've had them a few times now. Anywho, yes. So new champs, it was good, but I don't know. I was really digging MK Ultra. Anyway, I'll stop whinging. Steve Macklin has an interview with Gia Miller. He wants this to be the era of mayhem. Okay, it seems like they're putting him up on a pedestal here. They're going to really rebuild Steve this year, I think, because I felt like he was torn down a little bit by the end of last year. And also good to see Gia on the show. I think she could have been used more. To be honest, I think she only did one interview on this whole show. Here was something interesting. Scott D'Amore came out and bring out the AAA owner, Dorian. Is that his name? And Scott had said something like, it's time to put politics aside for the betterment of the business. And they're going to be working with AAA, and I guess they signed a deal right then and there. That has to be a shot at AEW, surely, because AEW now are having CMLL guys working their shows, and I don't know, maybe it's a shot at them.
Yeah.
Do you think so?
I wouldn't say it's so much a shot at them, but you can definitely CMLL and AAA obviously have a long-standing and heated at times rivalry. For those that might not be familiar with Mexican wrestling lore, as it were, Google it. It is a long read, far more than we can sort of explain here. But in any case, if CMLL is collaborating with All Elite Wrestling, then I personally have to believe that AAA is doing a deal with TNA in order to make sure that they have a presence on American television, just the same as CMLL will be having a presence on American TV, bro.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm taking that as a complete shot at AEW because I hate AEW. You know what I do? I hate them. I hate them. I hate
Loves
the company.
that,
I hate
loves
their
that
fans.
drama.
I hate Tony. I hate all of them.
That's great. Somebody will clip that, and then like years from now, you're sitting there going, honestly, guys, I'm rooting for all the companies. I just want everyone to succeed, and then some dipshit pulls up this clip from
I don't
like 4
care.
years before.
I don't care. I'm over it. It's too annoying. Hook kicked out of the Muscle Buster at 1. No.
Oh man.
No. Back to TNA.
Let's get back to it.
Okay, TNA X Division title 3-way match here. Chris Sabin defending against Kushida and El Hijo del Vikingo. Do I go first this time, or was it you?
Yes.
It's me. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, okay, but this is the nicheness I was a little worried about, but I'm hopeful it'll work out, okay? Look, okay. This is the X Division, so I should know that. I should know what I'm
negative.
expecting.
You're being negative. You're being negative, bro.
No, I know. Hang on. I know what I should be expecting. Look, Vikingo was nailing it early on. Some crazy stuff. Some nice 3-way spots. I'm not going to go through all the moves. There was too much to cover, I've written down here. But you know what? I said that the match was phenomenal and quick. Huge springboard destroyer from Sabin on Vikingo on the ramp. I'm like, someone's going to die. Kushida got a big German suplex off the top rope. But then Sabin got the win with the cradle shock. I thought it was a good match. 12 minutes, 57 seconds. I knew what to expect, but it didn't feel like this match was super choreographed. It felt like things were happening because of happenstance and all that shit. So Sabin continues his reign. What did you think of the X Division title match?
Yeah, like this match was one of my favorite matches on the show. I'm actually going to go ahead and give it a B plus and a Jooseyboy recommendation. Go out of your way to check it out. Honestly, I feel like I agree with you. I like that all three competitors in the match were continuously involved in the match throughout, and it flowed from one spot to another. And it didn't feel like, oh, one guy's conveniently over on the outside, so now the other two guys are going to do this. There were times when one person would rotate out, but they always rotated out for a reason, and then they would end up in another position ready for a different spot in the match.
Yeah.
And although it probably was choreographed to a large degree, but these guys are professionals that work at a level where it it doesn't look like it's choreographed. It looks like it's organic and natural and on the fly because of the smoothness of these guys. In my notes, which I kept in my mind palace because I didn't actually take notes down for this show. Okay. Vikingo is better in TNA. There, I said it. I said it. I said it.
In your mind
He's
palace.
hold on though. All jokes aside, he's better in TNA because he's hurt himself several times in AEW/ROH, and I'm not just blaming them for that, but
I
it
am.
just seems like it. Okay, it just seems like the way that TNA handles the booking of their Mexican/Lucha Libre talent is in a way where they're more familiar with the way that those guys work, and they've set up a situation where these guys can thrive. And in this case, you had the American high flying style versus like the Japanese high flying style versus obviously the Lucha Libre, modern
Yeah.
Lucha Libre style.
Yeah.
And yeah, it worked. If AEW, and again, it's going to seem like I'm picking on them. I know.
Good.
If they tried to do this exact same match, I don't have faith that it would have flowed as smoothly.
Someone would have
Really
broken their ankle. Then backstage after the match, they would have gotten a fight. Then the boss of the company would have wet his pants because he was fearing for his life. And then the boss would go.
and then at
Then the boss
press
would go to the
conference
media scrum
afterwards,
and
he'd
say
be
that
wearing he'd be wearing Vikingo's neck frill during
Yeah.
the press conference, going, "It's great, it's great, it's so great."
Yeah, and he'll say that it's the safest company in the world, even though there was a fight and then someone shattered their ankle and all that. So,
Grr, I hate Jinder Mahal. Grr.
oh, you loser!
Anyone that
I don't
anyone that
care.
likes AEW is just like turning the video off. Like,
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. He has so many storylines going on over there about, oh, are you friends with this person? I don't want you to be friends with that person. Well, it comes across like you don't have any friends, mate. I never had any friends. So you have to keep creating all these storylines about people not being able to get along and not be friends because you never had some growing up. All you had was your little booking simulator and your figurines, you nerd.
yeah,
I played that simulator too, and I have heaps of figurines.
TNA though, TNA Hard To Kill, and
Yeah, TNA, bro. Okay, moving forward. Oh, this is the match I was most looking forward to here, bro. Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, taking on Alex Hammerstone from MLW.
Yeah.
He's left MLW. He's in TNA, bro. Take it away, Josh, Alex, Jooseyboy.
A-.
Yep.
Jooseyboy recommendation.
Yep.
Go out of your way to check it out. This was my most anticipated match of the show, and bloody hell, I loved it. What a match. All right. This is what modern professional wrestling should be. Hard hitting, physical, technical. It felt realistic. It had counters in it. There were counters to their counters. These felt like two professional athletes trained at a high caliber who don't just mirror each other's style in the ring. They have their own distinct style and method. It was like two MMA fighters that have been trained by two very distinctly different camps and have two different mentalities. That apply that to a professional wrestling context, and you have one of the finest professional wrestling matches that you will probably see this year. Obviously, it is early going. We say this every year because usually at the beginning of every year, there's at least one match on pay-per-view that just kicks ass and sets the year off right as far as good matches. And I think that Josh Alexander and Alex Hammerstone have had that match at this show.
Yeah, this was my favorite match on the show. Thought these two nailed it. No pun intended, Hammerstone. It was just back and forth. It was like a stalemate to begin with.
With selling.
Josh needed the win, I think, because he lost to Will Ospreay. He lost to Alex Shelley recently. I liked Hammerstone. He snapped at one stage. He looked a bit close at many stages to get the win, but Josh kept showing finesse to lock in the ankle lock again and again and again. He grapevined it. He got close. Hammerstone got to the ropes. He faked the injury to bait Josh in and hit the nightmare pendulum, but Josh rolled out of the way of the pin. Hammerstone headed to the apron, Death Valley Driver, TKO, near fall, flurry of power moves for a near fall from Hammerstone, but the C4 spike got it done, bro. It was suspense. I was on the edge of my seat. I see a big place for Hammerstone in TNA wrestling. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes next for him and, of course, the walking weapon. Okay, let's move forward. We've got 3 matches left here, Jooseyboy.
Yeah, how about a rematch? That's what I'm looking forward to seeing.
How about a rematch, boys? Let's fucking do it. TNA World Tag Team Title 4-way match. The ABC, Laredo Kid and Mike Bailey. I know Laredo Kid filled in for Trent Seven here. The Grizzled Young Vets from TNA, and the Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Vance. Okay, it's my turn to go first. Yep.
Off you go.
You know what I'm going to say.
Hurry up.
See, this wasn't too bad, okay? This wasn't too bad. You can see the Grizzled Young Vets were going out there. They put their working boots on. They want to show, we were in NXT. We only got to have like 4-minute matches, and we were in Schism, and they completely repackaged us. We never wanted to not be the Grizzled Young Vets. You can see they were trying, okay? You can see it. Didn't like that Zachary took a Michinoku driver off the top rope and kicked out. Come on, man. Come on, boys. It's too much. It's a little bit too much. I was surprised to see Ace Austin botching a little bit, which is rare for him. But, it felt very choreographed. I wrote down, it's frustrating seeing them pull off so many cool moves, but it just felt so choreographed. Good match, but I'm used to this stuff in AEW, and I don't really care for it. ABC hit their finish and retain. So hopefully the Grizzled Young Vets stick around, because I was impressed with their work here. But you know what? I'm a little bit tired of the tag division at the moment in TNA. We need to get some big boys in there. So let's get the fixers in from the NWA. Let's get some big boys in there. Because I'm sick of these little X division kind of guys. They're dominating division for over a year and a half now. No, let's get some big boys in there, bro. Let's throw Hammerstone and Josh Alexander in there. They'll kill these little motherfuckers. Take it away, Jooseyboy.
Yeah, I really like the Grizzled Young Vets. In fact, I like each of these teams in their own way, but this match, to quote Vince Russo, did not work for me.
Brother.
And that's a bit obscure for everyone watching out there. That's me quoting Vince Russo, quoting Hulk Hogan. So this didn't work for me. I felt like, possible match, C- match as far as rating goes. But it was just kind of there for me. I feel like having just 2 of the teams as opposed to 4 of them might have been more impactful, or even if you are going to have a 4-team situation. I don't know. It feels like, there's a lot of these smaller cruiserweight type guys in the tag team division, as opposed to it feeling like a division where there are people of all shapes and sizes contending for the belt. You know, like you mentioned, I think NWA could do a little business with TNA and
Yeah.
loan NWA a couple of its tag teams. Sorry, NWA loans a couple of its teams over to TNA in exchange for a couple of its bigger names to go down to NWA for a couple of shots. I don't know, spitballing. But
Yeah, it'd
yeah,
be cool.
this match kind of was not bad, but probably still the low light of the show as far as overall matches.
Yeah, it just didn't really work for me. But you know, this it is what it is. But yes, you know, it'd be good to see like the fixers, like they can do it. They're good enough. They're big boys. Throw them in there. Maybe throw like
Get some big bulls.
get bastards, get the country gentleman over there. I don't know.
How big are you?
You know, how about blunt force trauma? You know, throw them over there. They
Yeah.
could do it. Okay. The next segment here, the next matchup is the Knockouts World Title match. Trinity, the champion, defending against Jordan Grace. But before, like, we get to the match here, Dana Brooke, now known as Ash by Elegance, is seen at
Yeah.
ringside.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
She looked really good, to be honest.
Mhm.
Although I did write something a little bit mean. I wasn't trying to be rude, but I don't know if there's much equity in calling, you know, formerly known as Dana Brooke. She doesn't really look like Dana Brooke anymore, but she's still hot. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But bit of an interesting looking gimmick. What do you think that gimmick's going to be like, Jooseyboy?
Look, I'm not quite sure, but I think that TNA has already done more with her in like one appearance, made her more interesting than what WWE ever did. Unfortunately for Dana Brooke, she just was not quite one of those women that was going to leap to the front of the pack with her matches. And she also came up in that era where people would come from NXT and then just languish. And adding to her problems was I think she was a manager or a valet, like part of a package in NXT at one point, and then that act got separated from her, or only she got called up, something like that. And she never really had a fair opportunity in WWE, so I'm glad to see her pop up here, and I'm glad to see that she's instantly doing something to stand out a bit more because, like, you know what, these cast-offs of WWE and AEW as well, as we're going to start seeing in the next few years, cast-offs from there too. Like TNA, if they can pick these people up and do something with them, then great. Like I'm glad that that third option is there now because, you know.
You know, that second option is actually, that's why it's the number 2, because it is a number 2.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, the women's the Knockouts World Title match here, Jooseyboy. Trinity and Jordan Grace. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Trinity is like I don't know. I'm a fan of hers, man, but I kind of agree with you. I feel like it's clunky. It's not really working. I'm glad that Jordan Grace won the title because I think that she's the right person to represent the women's division in TNA going into 2024 and beyond. I think that when I think of women in TNA slash Impact, after Mickey James, in terms of the current day product, the next person I think of is Jordan Grace. I think she's done a tremendous job getting herself over and also bringing attention to the promotion because, you know, she turns heads. People want to watch her matches. So I'm glad for that. I can only really give the match C minus. I don't really think that the chemistry was there between Naomi and Jordan Grace. Whether it's a difference in working style, whether it's a difference in the agenting between the two promotions, or whether it's just a coincidence that things haven't quite clicked with the opponents. I'm not sure, but I don't think that Trinity has had quite the run that she might have hoped for. I don't know. She may feel totally different.
I don't know if you've seen my other reviews on Impact throughout her run. I hate to harp on it too long, but I don't know how much more she's going to be in TNA. So I might have be able to get this out again and have an opportunity to get it out. But she has been the TNA Women's Champion, the Knockouts Champion for some months. I knew it was time she had to lose the belt because she is somebody I've always been a fan of, and I always thought she could have done so much more in WWE. I thought she had a look and a bit of sass about her that really could have been one of the tippy top ladies, but just she got there every now and then, but then she's got pushed back down the ranks, I suppose you could say. So she comes to TNA or Impact or whatever, and I was excited. I was like, cool, I get to see her. Okay, I get to see her be at her best here because obviously she felt like she was being held back in WWE. But she hung her hat on her WWE gimmick. She was a bland, boring baby face. Her promos were not inspiring or interesting. I was essentially miffed at how somebody so talented has been so dull in a company like TNA, when usually people go to TNA and they flourish, like we've seen here with Top Dollar or AJ Francis, like we see with a whole bunch of people here. Frankie Kazarian has flourished since being back, when an AEW is made to look like a fucking dipshit with Sammy Guevara. I honestly also believe she was not given one interesting angle since being in Impact that I could see a different side of a character or personality, which makes her interesting. She won every single match she was in, even tag matches. Every match she was in, she won, except for this one here. I think she looks cool, but that's all there is to the character. The fact that she wears glow-in-the-dark clothes. Her timing in the ring, and that's just the look, right? And that's the character. But now the ring stuff, her timing just hasn't been there. It's been slightly off. She's like 75% on point.
Yeah,
The
it's a different size ring. It's a different type of rope.
Maybe that is. Maybe that's what it is. But, is she getting in the ring and practicing enough? The connection of some of the kicks and the timing and some of the moves is just not hitting the mark. And I kept thinking, you know what? Her move set is really annoying. Like, she needs to keep it just a little bit more simple. I get it. She's extremely athletic, but she overcomplicates it with all these different moves and such. And unless you hit them flush, if you hit it 94% correct, it doesn't look right because they're such intricate moves, these moves that she hits. It makes me feel, like I hate being negative toward her, but she needs to reinvent herself badly. The glow thing is over. I don't care. It's done. Try something else.
Yeah.
Something
like
The Undertaker did the Dead Man. It got a bit stale. He enhanced the character. Then he got stale with that again. Then he became the American Bat. Like, he evolved. You got to try to keep evolving. You can't hang your hat on the same shit.
She's been doing that glow thing for a while now. It's probably been like 7 years now,
Fuck, it feels like it's been forever. I remember seeing her pitching the idea on Total Divas, like in season 2 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's fucking 2016, man. That means she's been doing this for a while.
Fuck. So yeah, what bothers me most though, and I'm gonna be done with this in a second because we've gone a bit long. So
Are you?
I'm gonna be done in a second. But what bothers me most is seeing somebody come in, beat the whole talent pool, and possibly leave with only putting one person over. I don't like that. That's a fault that TNA have had over the years. They let people come in, they get their big wins, and then they fuck off. When Will Ospreay comes back and he works Josh out, he better be getting the taking the loss on that one, because too many people coming in and getting wins over the talent, and then they leave, and then the talent are left looking less than. Anywho, congratulations to Jordan Grace, who I said nothing about in this match. Let's move forward. TNA World Heavyweight Championship here, bro. Alex Shelley, the champion, defending against Moose. So, as we know, Moose cashed in the Feast or Fire briefcase to challenge Alex Shelley at Hard to Kill. And I think it's the third longest heavyweight title reign in TNA history that Alex Shelley has had. Would you like to go first, because I spoke so long just before?
Sure. I'm gonna give this match a B plus. I think that the right man won. I'm glad that they gave Alex Shelley a longer run with the belt, because they've given it to Chris Sabin, I think, a couple of times now, and so it's good that both Motor City Machine Guns have been rewarded for their long time service with the company. Um, through having title runs. Having said that, man, the guy in TNA, as far as I'm concerned, is Moose. Moose is to me is like it's hard to make that direct comparison, but to me, Moose is like your Batista. He's like your Brock Lesnar. He's like your big money player, your big money athlete, your franchise player. And I think that with the rebranding, returning to TNA, it's good to put the belt back on Moose at this particular time. But I also like the fact that this feast or fired thing where he cashed in the briefcase to get the title shot, this is only the latest in a line of several different instances in the recent past where Moose has finagled his way into these opportunities through different means. I remember he won that tournament that one time, and the trophy granted him some kind of title shot, and he used the trophy to get a title shot as well. Um, so he's got a history of that kind of thing. So I like this idea of Moose just having this whole history of constantly being conniving and devious, and constantly plotting his next big move. Um, he's underhanded and devious, but at the same time, he is that quarterback, that professional athlete that can go in the ring and back up what he says. And I think that we got another example of that in this championship match here. I think Alex Shelley is a tremendous wrestler. I think he's actually really finding a good level for himself between the faster, high flying stuff that he used to do in sort of the 2000s, and kind of the fact that he's gotten older now, and so he has to slow down somewhat. I think he's starting to find his style, his later career style. I don't know if he's quite found it all the way yet, even after this title run, but nonetheless, I think he's done well. Yeah, I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was a good way to end the show. Again, high press situation being the final match on the card, even though it's Moose, even though it's a long time TNA mainstay in Alex Shelley, it's still the final match on what has been a very strong card. So I think, given that as well, they did a very good job indeed.
Sexual. Yeah, no, look, great main event. They let them go for it. They went for it. 21 minutes, 33 seconds. They let them go out there and try and have the best match they possibly could. Moose is so impressive because he's working with a guy who's a high flyer. And Moose isn't like 22 years old or anything like that. The guy's a little bit older, but he can still keep up. He can still, he's doing all these roll throughs and getting taken down, and he doesn't miss a step. He's with him every single step of the way, despite his height and size and muscle mass. The guy's so athletic. See the drop kick on that son of a bitch? Fucking hell, bro.
Yeah, he's tremendous, man.
He's just unbelievable. But you know what? He's been a great team player to TNA over the last few years. After his world title ended, he went back down to the mid card. He feuded with all the guys. He did all the hardcore stipulation matches. He put himself through so much hell, like unsung hero of the company in 2002 and 2003.
You mean 2022
2022, 2023. Sorry, I am getting tired. Did I say 2002? Oh, I wish it was 2002.
Me too.
Yeah. Hashtag me too. So he took the high flying stuff, but he was such a powerhouse. It made this like a David versus Goliath battle in a sense, like a new age version of a David versus Goliath match where Goliath actually can move a fucking muscle. Loving the finish. Moose, when he hits that spear, it's over. That's it. He hits the spear. It's over. It's over. No kicking out of finishes all the fucking time. No, you take the spear, you're done. Oh.
Yeah, you might be in the middle of a sentence and do blah blah.
Anyway, there was one spot the system showed up to interfere. Then Kushida and Saban came out to make the save. The system had someone else with them. I don't know why they just went and left, but they left soon after. Then the spear was taking place. But okay, after the match, here we go. Moose is celebrating. He's a champ, Jooseyboy. Nick Nemeth's theme song plays. He attacks Moose, runs into the crown, tears crown. He runs into the crown and tore his shirt off to show that he had a TNA wrestling shirt on. Jooseyboy, what did you think of the reveal of the former Dolph Ziggler?
I'll tell you what, man, they got a guy who was released after nearly 20 years with the WWE, former world champion, former Grand Slam champion. He's worked with everyone in the business, basically. I mean, this guy has been in the ring with Shawn Michaels, AJ Styles, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, every member of the Shield, you know, everyone that you can possibly think of. Randy Orton a lot of times.
Cena.
John Cena, that's right.
The Miz.
So it is a big
Lashley.
deal.
Sorry.
Shut up. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for them. It's a big deal for them to get this guy signed.
Drew McIntyre. Yeah, keep going. Sorry.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal for him to get this guy signed.
Is it a real deal or is it just a big deal?
It's a real deal, Titus O'Neil, for them to get this guy signed, and I think that
real deal, Titus O'Neil.
Shut up, man! I think it's a great idea to have him debut by attacking the new champion immediately. It's like, oh shit, TNA's back, the brand's back, and now we've got big names that people know showing up and challenging the world champion, but at the same time, he's not the type of name, referring to Nick Nemeth, who's going to immediately eclipse and overshadow everyone who's already there. They already have a nicely established roster of talent that can hold their own against the likes of Nick Nemeth. So that's what I think of that.
Nemeth. I don't know why it's funny. Is it Nemeth or is it Nemeth? I don't know.
Sounds like a supervillain surname.
Nick Nemeth. Yeah, so he's there. That's good shit. You know that Stevie Ray in WCW is also called the Real Deal. Just hope you knew that little factoid. 2000 Stevie Ray of the year 2000 was known as the Real Deal. Steve, is it? Hang on. The real, because Adam Blast will kill me. The Real Deal, Stevie Ray.
I remember Big T from the year 2000.
Of Ahmed Johnson.
Yeah, Big T. Big, huge motherfucker. That's what I remember, man.
Oh God! Of course, Stevie Ray Vaughan had a greatest hits called "The Real Deal," so I'm never gonna find it. I'm pretty sure Stevie Ray in WCW is called "The Real Deal." Anyway, no one gives a shit. How did we get onto that? When we're talking about TNA Hard to Kill here, Jooseyboy, give it a rating out of 10, you little son of a gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was tremendous.
Chavo.
Tremendous, and that's number 3 and 4 of the word tremendous. Yeah, I thought it was a great show, and I'm gonna rate it accordingly. Bitch.
That's sexual, baby. It's great to be doing reviews with you again, Jooseyboy. It just feels like it's been so long, you know. It's only been 12 days or so, but You know, I was watching some of our old reviews. Well, I wasn't watching; I just had it playing in the background. But I saw us like conversing, and I was like, "Oh, I miss the good old days." It's only like a couple of weeks ago, but still, hopefully we get the channel back soon. Because I'm getting
Yeah,
right ticked off,
that'd
mate.
be
I'm getting
good.
right ticked off.
We're just operating in purgatory right now. This is being broadcast to nowhere.
Yeah.
And we're trapped in here until, we can be released
We
by
can't-
being put onto the
I
channel.
can't get out.
I
Juiceboy,
can't get
I'm
out.
stuck.
I also can't. Yeah.
You
it's
know what?
not-
We'll throw it in the Slam Society. See how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for Hard to Kill. 8 out of 10. Thank you for your time, Jooseyboy.
Yeah, no worries, mate. And thank all of you out there.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been our review for fucking TNA Hard to Kill 2024. I've been Jooseyboy alongside Karlifornia.
Yeah, bitch.
And we'll see you down the road.
TNA Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. TNA Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. TNA Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.